Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for May 2024. This is going to be for Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising. Some of you are intuitively guided. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. I feel like that's what your guides want you to know. Because I do read through my spirit guides and your guides. You may be in love with a Capricorn platonically, romantically. And if that's the case, your guides know you're here, so you'll receive messages too. Just be open to it. And you can certainly ask your guides to give you confirmation that a reading is for you. Like, give me a sign, like a clear sign, so I know. Um, and they'll do that for you. You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe if there's no sign, then, maybe that's the answer too. But I feel like if you're here for a reason. All right, Capricorn. So we are going to use 4 different decks. We're going to use Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom, but we will do that after the reading, over the reading, actually. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to do clarifying or to go deeper. That's what I like to say. And then we're going to use 2 different tarot decks for your main spread. And I've been doing this for every sign, and I'm looking for the synchronicities. I'm using the same deck for every sign also, so that I can, if it reminds me of another reading, I'll let you know. Um, Sometimes if this is speaking about love, it may be a conversation. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing 2 different perspectives, whatever it may be, we're going to be open to it. So we'll use the Tarot of Dreams for what I'm going to do is like align the Psychic Tarot or whatever wants to come out. And then we'll go to the Tarot of Dreams and back to the Psychic Tarot. And then we'll use the Gilded Tarot to go deeper. All right, my loves, let's go ahead and give the Psychic Tarot a couple shuffles. Everything's always pre-shuffled, just so you know that. Trying to not let my camera shake. All right, let's give him a cut. And Capricorn. Shout out to my beautiful granddaughter Faith, who is on the 26th, that I know many, December, that I know many of you share her birthday. Not many, but a few. So shout out to you too. All right, let's go ahead and begin, Capricorn. May 2024. Then remember, time is fluid. I do have to say, I feel like energy has really been lifting for a lot of people. It's the energy. It's like I'm sure it's planetary. Because it feels like thing like before it felt like we're trying to like walk through mud, and now we're like walking on pavement. All right. Oh, see that big chunk wanted to come out, but it has to come out. That's one of the rules of the table. It's got to come out. Or flip itself around in the deck. Okay. So let's start with what's face up, which is obstacles and challenges. Don't freak out. This is your first card. That just tells me, and it's a 5, so it is speaking about a change. So there may be some type of obstacle you just overcome, some type of challenge that hopefully you've gotten through. And I say that because it is your first card. Let me bring the lid down. Oh, okay, we got quite a few. We have patience and planning. This is the 7 of Pentacles. It's interesting because maybe something that you needed to be patient for also required a change. And I also feel like if there were obstacles, they're being cleared now, because in the 7 of Pentacles, yes, it is about patience, but it's also about, I read the 7 of Pentacles, so you can't really see it in this deck as like your tree of life, like it's your seed souls of intention that are on that tree. And it feels like one of those seeds are ready to be picked. Something is ripe for the picking. But it may have taken some time. Wow. Spiritual union, like, okay, right out, right away. Right away. Okay, 2 cups. Interesting. Hello, Chariot. Triumph in this deck. This is the ruler of Cancer. Or Cancer's major arcana, I should say, not the ruler. To me, would be the ruler. But this really does speak about unlimited potential, and it's interesting that it's following the soulmates. What's also interesting is the soulmates are between 2 sevens. So these soulmates, they could be on like singular journeys, and they may be coming together. And maybe each had their own obstacles they had to overcome. There is something that feels like it had to be overcome. And for some of you, it could have been like a prior relationship, you know, though I don't really have anything of cutting ties yet, but I do feel like like, what am I waiting for? Well, probably the soulmate. All right, let's keep going. We have awareness, the magician. The magician coming under obstacles and challenges. Well, that magician is going to be able to overcome. And then we have the 3 of Swords, heartache and loss, under patience and planning. Interesting. Now, do I feel like this is saying, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting to get my heart broken? No. That's probably part of the energy that needed to be cleared. Part of me feels like this 3 of Swords is not from who's ever in the 2 of Cups. Maybe this is energy before that, like a relationship that did not go well. Um, but listen, often when I see a 5, and I know it means change, and sometimes, we're willing to give that change, and sometimes we're not. Sometimes it takes longer, to overcome the 3 of Swords, and that may be part of what this is. I'm not going to say that like your heart is 100% healed, but I do feel like it's like, I don't feel like it's having an effect like it once did. And that's probably part of what this patience is about. Maybe I needed to have understanding. Someone could have, broke up with you, what have you. You didn't quite understand it. But then again, like I feel like look where you're heading towards. Interesting. All right, let's bring in the Tarot of Dreams. All right, these are already pre-shuffled also, so let's go ahead and give them a cut. Introduce them into your reading, and let's keep going. All right, so let's see if it's coming under the soulmates. Where here it literally says spiritual union. And then the Chariot beside that. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, I feel like whatever patience I've had to have, it definitely seems worth it. Because then you have the Chariot, which is another 7, and 7s are very spiritual numbers. But the Chariot is really about balance. And then that Chariot has unlimited potential. But first, the balance. So let's see. It is also the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The light on the dark. All right, we have faith. This is the Hierophant. Faith. Card of Taurus. We have Hello World. No wonder we have this 5, because now we do know it is talking about a change, but a change so that you can enter into this next chapter. I feel both the chariot and the world are rewards for like a job well done. What kind of job? Well, it feels like a spiritual, like more spiritual understanding. It's like I kept the faith alive. I kept my faith alive even after the fact. The world, the next chapter, unlimited potential connected to it. We have the Five of Swords, another five. Then we have the Hermit, and I feel like the Hermit is the perfect energy right now because I do feel like, especially coming under that Three of Swords, prior heartache, um, prior obstacles, challenges. Five of Swords down here talks about toxicity. So no way do I feel like it's this person in the Two of Cups. I just don't. I don't feel like that. Um, you have Taurus and Virgo right there also. So, it's almost like if I was like unwilling or I was resisting this change, whatever that may be, again, it does feel like I'm not sure why I'm resisting it because I feel like the energy is very difficult. But I also know the change is difficult, even if it's for our betterment. But we do have the magician right in between these two fives. So awareness. And I love that with also the hermit here, where I really am looking at my spiritual self. I'm looking, on this earthly plane. I feel like in the hermit's energy, it does a lot of times it can feel like the dark night of the soul. But truly, the hermit really is seeking light over a situation or over maybe many situations. And the hermit finds that light, And I also feel that in the hermit's energy, like what I'm learning is if I'm waiting for someone else to come in and like save my life, well, I am the saver of my life. And maybe these changes alone, and then this deep understanding of it, it must be a spiritual, like, and that must be why I know it's the sevens, this spiritual number. Um, and then I feel like the hermit, that's what I'm doing, especially with the Hierophant here. It's like, am I living the life that I thought I'd be living? If this is talking about prior love, then, is this how I really thought love was going to be? And I have a feeling the answer is no. No. But you may be about to experience what true love really feels like. And it's also interesting because I get this feeling that, maybe I thought someone from my past was my true love, but then something happened. It became toxic. And then you ended up in this Three of Swords energy. But it also, I often feel in the hermits like we're brought down to our knees, but then we're seeking, right? We're seeking help. And I feel like the Hierophant's also speaking to that because the Hierophant's really about hope, like keeping your hope alive, keeping your faith alive. Sometimes you don't know how good love can be until you're actually in that relationship. Because if we base it on, like, let's say a past relationship where, yes, it did become toxic, there's no doubt in my mind. And it did, you're the one that ended up with a broken heart. But yet the Hierophant's saying, but keep your faith alive. Sometimes the universe can seem cruel, but really what they're doing is helping you to move into probably a life you never expected, a love you probably never expected. And I do feel like this is speaking about like a much high vibrational love than what was. All right. Look at that, the Three of Swords mirroring the Two of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups talks about a fulfillment of a wish, where faith is saying, keep your hope alive. The two nines, right? This deep reflection. But this deep reflection is actually what helps me find this inner harmony. And that's another meaning of the Nine of Cups is inner harmony. And let me tell you, I feel like with inner harmony, then I can truly love. It's like whoever caused, all this negativity in your life. And as that energy starts like fading away and this energy starts to enter, well, it just feels like night and day. I also feel like, and this would make sense because I feel like both these soulmates probably had very similar experiences. Like they might have both could have been married or, I do feel like it would probably have been in a committed relationship and maybe both got cheated on or what have you. Both ended up in this toxic type energy. And that makes sense because a lot of times soulmates do mirror each other. And sometimes, we're not completely healed when this love comes in, but maybe this, and I very seldom say this because I feel like we need to learn to save ourselves. But I feel like this soulmate may help heal those last broken pieces and you for them also. All right, what else do we have? We have the Five of Pentacles. Interesting. So three fives. We have, well, Justice. So maybe you were married before. And then, hello, lovers. So now the lovers is in line with the soulmates. How do we deny this? Right? If you look at these lovers, they're naked. That means they're free to be who they are. They don't have to wear a mask. Back here, maybe like I had to be a certain way to appease a certain person. But here, I can be me. Here, that's what's appreciated. And they're both naked. So I feel like it's a symbol saying they both come into this, what I feel like is going to be a new relationship, um, completely open and honest. It's almost like when they connect, I don't think they ever let go of each other. And why? Because I feel like they've been through hell. This is definitely cutting of ties, but I feel like these ties needed to be cut. And what follows that, or what's before that, the Five of Pentacles. This is a tough line, this first line. But I feel like without these fives, I may never have moved into this energy. Again, it's like the universe is working on your behalf, but man, it doesn't feel easy at the same time. Let's just fill out the block. Three of Wands. It's like a different way of looking at your life. So the Three Swords is now replaced by the Three of Wands. Optimism. And I have to tell you, if this is talking about, and I'm not trying to make this a love reading, it wants to be a love reading. I can tell. But this is me looking at my future in an optimistic way. This is me letting go of control of how everything must show. And instead, I'm going to just enjoy the moment. Why wouldn't you with the lovers right here? And it's coming over the Nine of Cups. Maybe both of you had to cut ties, whether we wanted to or we didn't. We cut ties with someone of our past. But everything then starts moving you to this soulmate's energy and them towards you. So, you're on the same path and you're both entering into the world's energy. These fives are not. If I've given it the change, though, I feel like really for some, I didn't really have an option here. I didn't really have an option, but at the same time, I feel like things got bad. Things got toxic. It's almost like someone puts, like, you try to just take a step forward and someone puts an obstacle in front of you. So you have to take two steps back. And it's just, and I feel that push and pull type energy, and it doesn't feel good. And Capricorn, like, I can't see you being happy in an unbalanced life, especially as an earth sign. Okay, wow. And this three of cups, or this three of wands that's mirroring the chariot, another reason why, to let the past be the past, even if it feels, even if it felt unfair. Because even if it felt unfair, it wasn't unfair. I mean, the person that I ended up with probably, that was unfair. But it could have been my own energy that tempted me towards that person. Like someone who's like very charming and what have you. And then you're like, okay, I'll start dating you or I'll commit to you. And then their true colors come out. I don't feel that over here at all. Quite the opposite. You really have nothing but beautiful cards here. It's like this reading wants to be split in two. This is my previous life. This is my current life moving forward. Do I need to allow it? Yes. And when I said I feel like these soulmates are going to help each other like overcome the last feels like the ache in my heart because again it's like very quickly you recognize the difference between these two laws. Like, when I fell in love over here and I thought everything was going to be hunky dory, certainly didn't turn out that way. Quite the opposite. I feel like you gave it the time. You wanted to see if things would change. I don't feel like they did. If anything, I feel like they only got worse and worse as time went by. So maybe part of this planning was like, okay, like if this comes to an end, I need to have a plan in place to better protect myself moving forward. All right, let's see what's at the bottom of the decks. Well, hello, Six of Cups. Someone that I used to know. And the bottom of Psychic Trail, mental conflict. Makes a little sense. Let's see what's underneath that. Stand your ground. And underneath the Six of Cups is a tower. Interesting. It's almost like, okay, so here's the Six of Cups. And this can speak about the soulmates. This could be someone that I knew back in the day, but when I think about them, and this could be someone that you thought about while you were going through this difficult situation. It's almost like when I lay my head down on my pillow at night, this person comes to my mind. Now, for some of you, this could certainly be past lives. But I have to say, it's following the tower. So it's almost like if this tower didn't happen, then maybe this would never happen. All right, let's bring this up a little bit. Make a little bit of room. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot and let's go deeper. Let's figure out everything we can. Sometimes we end up in bad relationships. we end up in, a relationship where we never expected that it would get so bad. But at the same time, I mean, maybe I could have left before, maybe. But at the same time, I feel like, I can't look at the soulmate union and say, well, that's meant to be, without also saying that this difficult energy was also meant to be. Now, why? Because that sounds cruel, right? But maybe it's because you needed to really like find yourself again. And that's what the Nine of Cups is. It's really where you're finding inner harmony. And I feel like cutting of those ties to whoever owns that toxic energy, it feels like freedom. And I feel like that's even before we even know about this soulmate. I feel like it just feels like freedom. Could have been a karmic lesson with justice here. Certainly could have been a karmic lesson, but listen, you don't want to regret that because, especially if you've learned from it, and I feel like that's what the Hermit's representing. Like, I have spiritual clarity over this. And sometimes maybe it's just not putting the blame on you. Like, don't, like, forgive yourself for what you think that you have done wrong. It's almost like, how did, like, you look at it, and I know this energy, like, how did I end up here? What the hell happened? Right? But it happens. And I know what it feels like to cut ties to someone like that. Maybe that's why I said it feels like freedom. And then, and then I feel like the soulmates come across each other's path some way, somehow. And I'm hoping we're going to get a little bit more clarity on that. But let's start at the beginning. All right. Nine of Swords. A lot of worry. Sleepless nights. Some of you, I feel like, again, that's when if you already know who this person is, or maybe I'm just fantasizing about, real love, good love, deep love, a love that can last a lifetime. I feel like you don't have it, or you didn't have it here. I mean, it could have lasted a lifetime, but I don't think you wanted it to last a lifetime. Even if I think that I did, I feel like your guides are saying, but my dear, you did not. So the Nine of Swords, it is a lot of worry. It can mean sleepless nights. I have a feeling this worry it was over whether to make a change or not. Um, you might have like I overthink it, especially with the Virgo here. I can definitely overthink, but I do feel for some of you, it's like when I put my head down on my pillow at night, it's a soulmate energy that I think about. Again, whether I know that or not, whether I know the person, just talking about the type of love that I wished I had. We have the magician. Wow. It's almost like the magician is saying you have much more power than you realized. Look at the eight. Infinity. As above, so below. No beginning, no end. Coming over the Seven of Pentacles. The magician reminds you that you really do possess all the tools you need within yourself to really live a successful life. It doesn't promise that there won't be challenges in that, but listen, I feel like you've been through some very difficult challenges, and I feel like if they were to arise again, or let's say like this has come to a complete end, and I feel like if this person was to show up again, I feel like you'd be like, no way, Jose. No way. We have the moon. Interesting. I say interesting because this is the ruler of Cancer and it's right next to a Cancer card. So for some of you, it could certainly mean that. But the moon can be uncertainty. It's also very dreamy, very dreamy type energy. Maybe I've been dreaming about this soulmate before the soulmate, actually enters. Boy, I feel that for someone. Maybe through my dreams, it's almost like, like before I fall asleep, I say, let me have a dream of whoever my true love is. Like, let me experience it. And I feel like the universe is saying, oh, you're going to experience it, but you're going to experience it in your life, not just in a dream. All right. We have the Queen of Wands, Queen of Action. We have the Death card. Well, the Death card makes complete sense coming in this line. Card of Scorpio. Some of you could certainly be a Scorpio because it is mirroring the world over here. And this is coming over the Magician's energy. So, whatever doors needed to be closed, I feel like I have that awareness now. It's like I get it now. Excuse me. This mental conflict must be part of that Nine of Swords. Also, want to say, I feel like someone could have been in a relationship with someone who may have had, I want to be careful when I say this, but I feel like um, some type of mental illness. But isn't an illness because I feel like, like could be like a narcissist type energy, but or bipolar, energy that I can't control. And I do feel that. I feel like someone may have been with someone who is like bipolar and it's like they refuse to take their medication, which is their choice, right? But I feel like you probably got the brunt of not good things because of that. All right, let's keep going. By the way, the lovers down here, I should say, is the card of Gemini. The meaning of the card is a head over heart decision. I don't really feel like there's a decision. I just feel like it's going to be. It's almost like we're going to cross paths and it's just going to be. But let's keep going. And I just realized faith is right above this Three of Swords. So I feel like everywhere where there's a Three of Swords, and I feel like both soulmates have dealt with the Three of Swords separately. I feel like there's healing and understanding over that. So I don't feel like the Three of Swords is going to last long. All right. We have, well, hello, Knight of Cups. Unexpected couple fulfillment coming in. We have the Devil. There you are, your card. Capricorn. Is that you? We have the Five of Cups. Interesting. Because we have the Six of Cups here. This Five of Cups is mirroring the Death card. Some of you, this might be a Scorpio. Um, and I'm saying that because I feel like some of you must know this person. And like literally, I feel like, during your difficult times, like that's who I thought of. Now, this is coming over the world. And the Five of Cups signifies not, being careful not to stay in the energy of loss, right? It can turn into woe is me. And listen, it doesn't mean that you don't have every reason to feel sorry for yourself because I do feel like you suffered. Um, and I do feel like the other person suffered. You know what I mean? And I do feel like you're mirroring each other. I really do. Um, and probably each's journey was important that they each come to like this inner harmony within themselves. Because I feel like when you're in that energy, then you're truly able to love. Because I feel like if you want love, you've got to be able to give love, like, and I don't feel like well, I don't feel like, I don't want to say I don't feel like there will be any problems. There could be fear, there could be a little bit of that. But the truth is, I feel like the love will win out. What happens when this person decides I'm no longer going to focus on what I have lost? They literally have two cups behind them. You literally have the two cups already showing. So it's another sign to me that this two cups is meant to come into your next chapter. When? Well, maybe that's what it's saying. Like, when I can get out of that energy of like, all that I have lost. Instead, going into the energy of the Three of Wands. Okay, so I have lost, but what is yet to be found? Well, the Knight of Cups is kind of answering that for us. And with the Magician, man, do I feel like two people think about each other, though words may never be spoken or words were never spoken. And this is if you know this person. Again, this would be someone when you think about them, you would think happy thoughts. You would think they would bring a smile to your face. Probably, you probably feel it in your heart. You know what I mean? And, it's reminding me a little bit of like mine and Sam's story because that's what I used to do. Like, not fantasize, but like think like, oh, I wonder what it would have been if, the two of us stayed together. And then lo and behold, my phone rings and now we are together. And that's why I try to tell people don't put like limitations on yourself. Don't say, oh, it can't be for me. Because, maybe I thought at that time that, well, I never thought that Sam and I would be back together. I thought, I was in a different state. He was still in our home state. And never did yeah, I just didn't think that. But yet here I am. Hello, Ace of Cups. Right under the death card. It's also mirrored by the Nine of Swords. And I get that, right? Worry over love. Some of you may have thought about like making a change, leaving a person. Um, but then, the worry sets in like, oh my God, then what? What am I gonna do? That type of thing. Well, I feel like that's where the planning came in. If you so chose to do that. Look at this. The Ace of Wands falling the Ace of Cups. Sitting right next to the lovers, mirroring the magician, with the Knight of Cups right in between the two. And I don't want to keep talking about myself, but I just have to say that I kind of get this energy because the Knight of Cups is coming over the Three of Swords. And it kind of reminds me again of mine and Sam's story because it was a very difficult day I was having. Um, I mean, really, it was a difficult day. And then that's when my phone rang and everything changed. So I get that. I might be feeling a little sad, and then boom, this knight enters. And this knight is carrying the Ace of Wands, but also the Ace of Cups. This knight is meant to bring you in a cup of fulfillment. Well, this knight is completing its mission. Not only that, but it's going to make sure that you feel it. You know it. It activates your heart chakra. Even if you close down that heart, I have a feeling good luck keeping it closed. Because I feel like the passion, the desire, it does feel like it's meant to be. Doesn't guarantee us that it will be or that it has to be, right? Because that's free will. But I feel like the universe is like giving you all the signs, the energy, everything you need. So let's just say you can make it in an informed decision. All right, let's keep going. I've been finding a lot with the readings. It's like half the reading is talking about what was, what we've overcome, and then the other half is talking about what is yet to be, the potential of what can be. We have the Four of Cups. Well, again, this Knight of Cups is bringing in a couple fulfillment, right? And it's coming over the Three of Swords, which can still be like, I could still have the remnants of that broken heart, which could make it harder for me to like automatically say yes. And that's kind of what the Four of Cups talks about. Four of Cups is about discontentment and boredom in one's own life. Um, but this person is being offered a cup. And you can see it's like literally coming from the heavens. It asks you to use your spiritual discernment. Because maybe if I use my human mind, I'd automatically turn this down, especially from what I've been through. Over the Lovers. I don't know how you could turn it down. And again, you have faith right above it, and it is asking you to use your spiritual discernment. I feel like this cup is very, very good. I feel like this cup is the soulmate's energy. But, we can't deny that there was some pain of the past. I don't feel like it was this person. Now, the two of you could have been together, could have broke up, that type of thing, but I don't feel the heavy toxicity. I don't feel like it was hell type energy. This, I feel like the past feels like hell. But at the same time, it's like now you're moving towards your heaven. Will you allow? Will you allow? All right. I feel like you're going to. And I say that because I do feel like that Five of Cups, I know you're going to find your soulmate energy. And again, you may already know who this is. But I'm saying that I feel like you're going to say yes because below that is that Three of Wands, again, an optimistic view. And it really is about enjoying the moments. You know what I mean? And I love that it is coming over inner harmony, but also fulfillment of a wish. Well, that feels like the Knight of Cups is what that wish is about. And that means it's something you were wishing for. Now, listen, it can be different. Like, if you don't know who this person may be completely different than the normal type of person you would choose, but maybe that's a good thing. Wow. The lovers again. But let's see what else is here. Temperance. Divine timing. Quite beautiful. The Page of Cups. Well, that makes sense over the nine. of the Nine of Cups, right? That inner harmony. And I feel like really what it means is, for some of you, this could be like the younger energy. We have Scorpio, we have Pisces. It could certainly be that. But I also feel like it's about finding inner harmony within yourself. Learning to love yourself again, even though someone else probably tried to break you down. This is you believing in yourself and again. And I feel like that means that you allow yourself to have experiences. You know, that saying, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Some people would disagree with that. I'd rather not love at all if this is what I'm stuck with. But you're not stuck with this. You're not stuck. But it doesn't mean it's easy. But do I think, easy making whatever changes are necessary, but do I feel like it's worth it? 100%. And then, well, hello, lovers again. So you can see the mirroring energy, first of all. And I would expect to see that as it relates to soulmates, or it could certainly be twin flames. But I would expect to see like similar situations, separately, individually, but like when we come together, like some of the things we talk about is, your experiences and as you give an experience, they're like, whoa, I had the same one. I had the same type of situation. And then you talk about something else and they're like, whoa, me too. Some of you may find up like that, like in numerology, like some of you may have like the same life path number. You don't have to. Like, don't think that's a necessity. It's not. Um, but I don't know why. I feel like I needed to say that. So you have two lovers, you have the soulmates, and now we have temperance, which is all about divine timing. But it's also about trusting in divine timing. And that's what the Three of Wands is doing. Three of Wands is like, I'm just going to trust, especially after I've cleared all this hard energy and I'm starting to feel free again. Doesn't mean I'm completely healed, but I'm feeling that freedom. That freedom of making my own decisions, my freedom of being me, and not having to wear a mask, all of that. It also makes sense that temperance would be involved because I do feel like this is a very high vibrational love. But I do feel like it took two people, these soulmates, time, like time to overcome. You're literally connected to the soulmates and you're connected to the lovers. Hmm. Interesting. Just trying to think, is there anything that I really need clarity on? I feel like the Queen of Wands, sure, it can be an air, I mean, a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I really feel like what this is talking about more is, this is someone who moves according to her desires, her passions. She thinks about it later. What's that saying where I'd rather ask for forgiveness later than permission now? Maybe every year it's like I had to ask for permission for everything, which it just doesn't feel right. Like who are they where you need permission? I feel that control over here. Everything just wants to flow. All right, let's just go right across the middle of the deck. Um, I mean, this whole reading feels like it's about love, and I really try to like make him a balanced reading, like talk about your money, this and that. But I have to say, I feel like this is just love, but love of a higher vibration. Will I allow it? It's like the universe is sending you every sign possible. That Ace of Cups. And I feel like I must be able to feel it, even if I don't know it yet. And then, when you look at this Lover's card, which I love, Here's the feminine, right? And she's in the current moment. Here's the masculine behind her. And it's like he's not there yet, but she can feel him. But he's not there yet. But yet I feel you. I feel your energy. I mean, does that look like chemistry? Passion? Desire? It does to me. And then temperance is like, this is not about something where you need to be at the right place at the right time. I'll make sure you're at the right place at the right time. I'll instinctively send you a sign that, it reminds me of like a story I tell all the time where you're driving your normal route to work and, maybe you normally go to Dunkin' Donuts, but that day, that faithful day, something makes you go to Starbucks on that day. And on that day, you're in line, and so is someone else. And on that day, everything changes. Everything changes. And that's what divine timing is about. What can feel like, oh my God, I feel like take a second and thank divine. Because literally, I feel like like you don't need to do anything other than just think about your own vibration. Just think about, if this is something you really want, then think about like, am I able to give love in that way? And I know both I feel like are going to be a little broken because I feel like both have been through it. And I do feel like, again, both are going to help heal those last broken pieces. It's like there is no mask needed. Like, you be you, I'll be me. And that's what I love. But man, the signs, there's going to be one of those faithful days where, I feel like what it's going to turn into is an anniversary date. Now, that's just one example. It's going to happen however divine wants it to happen. But really what I'm saying is I don't feel that you have to like, certainly put your intentions out there, right? My heart is open. I do want love, but I do want love of the highest value. And I'm willing to allow myself to also give love at the highest value. Temperance is like, well, that's all I've been waiting for, my dear. Because remember, this is unexpected this night. Unexpected couple fulfillment. But I feel like, man, what a love story it is eventually going to tell. And because you've been through this not such great love, really restricted, I feel like, man, are you going to appreciate this? Because it's all about going with the flow. Hmm. The ball's in your court. You can take that cup or you cannot. That's free will. But I feel like your spiritual team is trying to give you every reason to say yes when that cup enters your life. You know, yes, your energy needs to be ready as possible. Don't shoot for perfection because you're never going to find it. We were born imperfect, all of us. And I feel like that's part of what our journey is finding our spirituality, evolving. And as we evolve, help those before us to evolve, help those after us to evolve. And that may just be through energy work or just be maybe who you naturally are. But this feels just divine, Capricorn. All right, let's take Mother Mary over the reading, get her words of wisdom. I can't get that saying out of my mind that I feel like, on that faithful day, everything changed. And, just look back at your own life to believe that things can change that quickly. Just think about like different things in your life and how things showed up out of the blue, right? Because sometimes people are like, no, that's not going to happen for me. Well, if you keep saying that, it probably won't. And I'm also kind of letting go of control of, if I don't know who this is, of exactly how this person must look, must be. And instead, I feel like you really need to trust divine because I don't feel like divine would be bringing in anyone who is not good for you and you for them. Remember, temperance is really making sure both the soulmates' cups are equally filled, equally balanced. That's really what her job is, right? Make sure both of the soulmates. All right. Mother Mary, words of wisdom, please. I mean, I'm just looking around the table and I'm like, soul or spiritual union, the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, two lovers, divine energy, the world, which definitely signifies the next chapter, the chariot above it, unlimited potential, where everything over here is just integrity. I trust my ability to know what is true for me. I trust my ability to know what is true for me. Well, I feel like that's what the Four of Cups is about. All right. Oh, sun, sun, everywhere, sun. No kidding. That's exactly what I meant. That's exactly what I felt. The signs are going to guide you. I watch for, notice, and trust the signs that heaven continuously sends. For some of you, this is your sign. Patience. Well, that's temperance. I trust in divine timing. It's like this unicorn just being patient, just sitting there. And it's interesting because I feel like this unicorn could easily just stand up and walk right over that fence, but chooses not to. It's almost like, no, I'm going to stay here until I hear the trumpet. I trust in divine timing. And last but not least, quiet. That makes sense when you get also signs. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. Signs, divine timing. Trust your ability to know what is true for you. And if you're uncertain about the signs, that's when I feel like you really should go into a quiet mind, and ask questions. And I feel like you're going to receive them. There's going to be a day you're going to Starbucks instead of Dunkin' Donuts. And there's going to be a day, if I allow, that I feel like you're going to claim great love. And listen, maybe it took time to learn how to be a great lover. And I'm not talking sexually, I'm talking romance, I'm talking connection, I'm talking integrity, truth, honesty. Remember these lovers. There's no need to wear a mask. I don't have to pretend that I'm someone else. to satisfy you. You love me for exactly who I am, and I love you for exactly who you are. But that comes in time, and there will be that faithful day. I just know it. I just know it. All right, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Wow. You know, I mean, it's a love reading. It just is. It's a love reading, but what a beautiful love story it's telling. And I guess to have this beautiful love story and to really, really appreciate the love in it, maybe going through this toxic energy really will show me the difference. And I get that I may be a little leery at first, right? Because this feels very passionate. And that can scare me a little. And that may be what the Two of Swords is, but and that is the potential of blocking an opportunity. But I just feel like there's no way. There's no way. I feel like that fateful day is going to happen, and that's that. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I love you guys. I thank you always, truly. Thank you I know a lot of you are sharing my video. That I appreciate so much. Truly, I do. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for those who have becoming new subscribers. Welcome aboard to our soul family. And for those who've been with me, I already consider you my soul family. But you have all my gratitude. So, man, listen, I know it's going to happen. Do I think it's going to happen for everyone? I feel like you'll know that. Like this is where you really got to trust your own intuition. I don't feel like you know that this is going to happen. But I feel like if you feel like you're freeing yourself, then just expect, right? Trust in divine timing. And when that cup comes in, trust your own spiritual self. Because remember, you are a spiritual being having human experiences. But first, you are spiritual. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at the table or at the lives. Bye bye, Capricorn.